I'm not talking about Royal Enfield per se as a brand in this one. These are these dealerships. I'm not the kind of person that badmouths people. Okay, another day and another ride.
तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं.
Well, not really a ride, to be very honest. I'm heading to the doctor of the motorcycle. Not for any specific reason or sorts. I mean, I've got a lot of things to fix and change and replace on my motorcycle, but there's also the half-yearly service to be done. You know, I have this feature in my in my bank account where it is linked to my Royal Enfield app, and it automatically notifies Royal Enfield कि भाई this guy, इसका bank balance अभी 5 digits पहुंच चुका है, please bring it back to 4 digits, which is when Royal Enfield reaches out to me and says कि अरे आपका सर्विस है, आ जाइए थोड़ा सा हम पे लुटाइए पैसा. And yeah, this yesterday अपन 5 digit से 4 digit नंबर बैंक बैलेंस पे चले गए और अभी तशरीफ़ लेके जा रहे हैं रॉयल इनफील्ड के घर. It was my failed attempt at overtaking to avoid the dust bath, because I've taken some effort to clean my motorcycle in the morning, not just for myself but also the service guys. Shout out to you, Srinivas. I got inspired by you cleaning your bike before the service and I cleaned it myself. मतलब इतने अच्छे इंसान कभी रहते क्या जीवन में, बताओ. I'm making my bike ready for the service people so that it is easier for them to work on it. I mean, the fact that I'm mentioning it so much and then I'm outright going out of my way to point it out doesn't make it nice enough. Neki kar, dariya mein dal. Uska gungaan mat ka. But yeah, I mean, I got inspired by Srinivas, so you can get inspired by me. Inspirational motovlogger riding on the wrong side of the road air.
सोशल मीडिया इन्फ्लुएंसरिंग उसने सिखाया है बंदों को.
Man, these earplugs are surely a thing that can't be forgotten about for now at least. Not a sponsored post by any means, but this little dubby that is on my keychain right now, this is a case of these earplugs that I've just started to use, which are not the most comfortable right now. I mean, it's not hurting me anywhere. I don't know how it will, how it will feel over time, but for now they are not hurting, but they are a bit uncomfortable. But the good thing about it is that I can hear everything properly, but not the wind blast, which is exactly why I've got these earplugs. So this is again a suggestion by one of my friends, Ashish. Shout out to you, my guy. He recommended me these earplugs, and it was high time I had to use it, because have you ever noticed that the amount, if you ride a lot on highways, even at high speeds for that matter, there's a lot of wind blast that you're subjected to, right? And it is genuinely the worst thing that can happen to your ears. Wind blast is really high at speeds about 60 kilometers per hour, so, and that fucks your ears up, okay? So it is always recommended to use earplugs at all times on your bike, because it brings down the decibel levels, and it doesn't necessarily mute all your hearing senses. I can clearly hear the exhaust, I can clearly hear people honking, but I'm filtering out the wind blast. I can't hear any wind blast whatsoever. So yeah, that's a good thing. And I realized that I need to get this because I was once sitting in my car and I was waiting for someone in the night and it was completely pin drop silence, okay? I suddenly started realizing that there's a ringing sensation. And now I don't know if it's just me being paranoid or if it's actually tinnitus, but this is a condition, okay? This is an actual medical condition where one has a ringing sensation in the ear. After which I immediately panicked and was like, nope, I'm not taking risk with this. And I had a conversation with Ashish once, one of my friends, about tinnitus, and he using it because he rides a lot, and he recommended me buy this, so I bought these, and yeah, here we are. I'm using it for the first time. Not the best feeling thing in my ears. Not that I have got better feeling things in my ears. Please don't take me wrong. I'm just saying that it doesn't feel. It feels weird. at best. But yeah, maybe I'll get used to it, and it just like I've gotten used to the million other things related to motorcycling, the gloves, the helmet, the balaclava, another thing to get used to. Now makes you do crazy things. Why is the wheel teda, dude? That is not a good sign. This wheel is tilted. बारिश तो खत्म हो गई, अभी ये पानी कहाँ से आ रहा है? I hope it's not a bathroom outlet. By the way, the things that I need to replace, maybe I'll talk about them after I leave the service center, if I at all get them replaced. I have very little hopes because Royal Enfield is horrible in terms of getting your spare parts, especially when it's an exclusive motorcycle like this, a limited edition in that. Well, I mean, it's ironic how while selling you the motorcycle, this is a special motorcycle, and while you go to the service center, this is a flaw of having this. Arey, you've got a limited edition motorcycle, yeah. How do you expect us to have the, I mean, of course I don't expect them to have spare parts, but at least you can source them sooner, right? Look at the attention, huh? This is why you get a limited edition, guys. Right, it's a green signal. Oh, that was not the smart thing to do.
Stupid. What is that? ये तो टट्टी है.
Why is he so disgusted at me, dude? I mean, the way he is looking at me. What is this? What is this piece of shit? Baapre, what a day I have chosen to come to the service center. It's mostly stock of undelivered bikes, but yeah, there's a lot of bikes to be serviced as well. What a day I've chosen.
3 days later.
I just got my bike serviced, got a bunch of things replaced and a bunch of things not replaced, which were supposed to be replaced. I had a absolutely horrible experience at this service center. Unfortunately, I have to say that because, well, the person that I knew here, he's left the job and he's joined somewhere else. So what happens with Royal Enfields is only up until you know someone at the service centers, you can get your actual work done. If you don't know anyone, then well, you don't exist and neither do your problems. So that's the issue. I'm very salty right now, but yeah, I would also recommend you, if you know someone here that you know is trustworthy enough that and any service center for that matter, if you know someone well, only then get your bike serviced there. I'll give you an idea of what exactly happened. I had 2 or 3 things to fix and it was a general service. 6 months, once in 6 months you get the service done, so that was just a generic check, which was not a problem. The issues were that my kill switch wasn't working well, so I showed that was pretty obvious, so that got fixed immediately. Then I had also developed a new feature on this motorcycle, and I say developed because such features only come in super high-end motorcycles. Keyless entry. Oh, the key set is not aligned properly. What to do? So what? Arey yaar, what a dumbass I am, dude. What used to happen is this key is coming out, right, like this. Even if I turn the switch on, the key used to come off. So I used to have a lovely feature of keyless ignition, which only BMWs and Triumphs of the world offer, right? Ducatis and all of those. So that was there. So I had to get that fixed. So that also was quite obvious. So we could get that fixed easily.
Easy.
By the way, this is day 3, okay? After 3 days, I'm getting my bike back, okay? So I'd given the bike, today is what? Today is 12th. Today is 12th of what month? 12th of... Today is 12th of October. I gave the bike to service on 9th of October, I'm assuming. Okay, let me circle back again to the issues. And the third issue was that the cluster, there was no problem with the cluster. But if you notice all of my videos in the night, you will see that the left side needle isn't as bright as the right side needle, which I had noticed long back, and I had also flagged that to Prathamesh, who used to work here earlier. So he told me कि yeah, he'll order the part and it should hopefully get delivered and then we can replace it. But that never happened. And I was like, chal theek hai, maybe next time. And a year has passed since then. Next time karke. And the problem with this, I mean, see, it's funny how something that you should be boasting about becomes an issue. The thing is that this cluster is all black, which usually doesn't come in a normal GT650. A normal GT650 has silver accents on the speedometer. Since this is a limited edition, which is why I get these all black this thing. So now apparently I can't just replace these needles because the light is just a single light unit inside all of this. So I'll have to change the entire cluster for it, is what the guy at the service center told me. I was like, ठीक है, I guess that's what we should do then. There's no other option. Then I ordered for it. Apparently I got it, but then when I came back, he was like, no, we don't have it anymore. We can do it later on. Next time करके 6 महीने हो गए. No, not 6 महीने. It's been a year since I flagged this issue. Like, ठीक है, चल, it's not that big of a deal. It's not hampering the performance of the motorcycle. It's just a little, I mean, it's not that noticeable as well in the first place. But ठीक है, चलेगा. And now I was quite adamant कि चलो अभी बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम हो गया. It's been a year, so maybe you should get it fixed now. I was like, नहीं, अभी आप कर ही लो इसको. And then I sent the videos. I also shot a video which I'll show. Maybe you can see it as an overlay right now. I sent this video to the service center last time. This was a year back, okay? And I sent it to him and told him कि ठीक है, ये कर लो. Then apparently I got the news कि हाँ चलो आ जाएगा part ये. And the guy that orders the parts also said कि हाँ ये आ जाएगा, हो जाएगा अभी. But then never came.
Okay, apologies for the slight interjection. I realized, I in fact remembered that they had in fact ordered a cluster of the GT650 and they were going to be installing it on my bike, but then they realized, I in fact pointed out that mine is a limited edition GT650 cluster and the one that they ordered had the silver accents on it, as I mentioned before, which is why I told them to not install it on my bike and placed an order for the limited edition one, to which they agreed. And they said that the part will come. It will take another few days. By few days, they mean a few months. And 1 or 2 months passed and I went for the next service and even then the cluster wasn't there. So yeah, that also proves the point that they were in fact willing to order the cluster, but they couldn't for some reason. Back to the video.
And now when I again went to the service center to get that done, the part apparently is not there. तो बोला ठीक है चलेगा, मैं आपको वीडियो भेज दिया हूँ ऑलरेडी, so you can get it ordered. Then these guys were like, चलो ठीक है, the part is not there, maybe wait for a day or two, okay, and then the part will come. The lock set also was there to be ordered, so ये lock set and the cluster, so these two are yet to be ordered, so we'll order it and you will have to wait for another day. मैं बोला ठीक है. Another day passes and the bike is still lying there at the service center. तो कल मैंने कॉल किया तो he's like, नहीं, the lock set has come, we'll wait for the cluster for another day. मैं बोला अरे यार कल दशहरा है, today is दशहरा by the way, 12th of October. And I said कि ठीक है अभी, as long as I get it in the morning I'm fine. We're like ठीक है. Then morning I call them up and these guys say actually you don't need the cluster. I was like why? You change the needle itself? No. You don't need the needle, neither the cluster. It is good enough. It is good enough. There's no problem in your cluster. I was like, Arey, I've sent you the video. But then it looks fine only to us. And this is a classic narrow escape that Royal Enfield technicians use, okay? Whenever you tell them about an issue, okay, they will genuinely try their best to solve it, okay, with whatever capacity they have. They will first address your issue, they will acknowledge it, ki haan chalo, there is an issue. Then they'll try to solve it. If they fail at solving it, now this is in context to any sort of issue that you get on your motorcycle, okay? They'll try to solve it, and if it doesn't get solved, then they'll give you reasons. Then, if you're not satisfied with the reasons, they'll just take a few steps back and completely deny your issue. कि नहीं, ये problem तो exist ही नहीं करता. Then you're absolutely shell-shocked कि अरे, we've been having this conversation for so long that this issue exists, and I've also shown you visual proof of it, and even then you say that the problem doesn't, and they are just in complete denial. I mean utter shock कि they are just in complete denial कि this problem ever existed, and it's as if they are entertaining a clown in front of them कि हाँ ये तो पागल है, ये कुछ तो बड़बड़ा रहा था, हम लोग इसका सुन के ले रहे थे, बट एक्चुअली कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं थी.
मैं आपको सीरियसली लेता नहीं.
It's like that. And now the same thing happened here is कि नहीं तेरा क्लस्टर तो ठीक ही है भाई, there's no problem with the cluster, and I'm sitting there and wondering, so what have I been doing since so many days? I've been sending you proofs, I've been showing you what exactly the issue is, and you guys can also tell me if I am visually impaired and these guys are making sense. I've already shared the video with you, so you guys can tell me what exactly is happening. Otherwise I'll have to get my eyes checked. And the funny part is this issue is so petty, so even getting mad at such people for such small reasons also seems ridiculous. But I'm genuinely, I'm not just am I mad, I'm also amused कि भाई मैं हूँ या ये लोग मुझे समझ रहे या ये चुके या मेरे को कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा है. And the thing is that I've been having this conversation with 4 people in total. The guy that I knew has left already, okay? So he doesn't exist anymore in the picture. And that was the only guy that I trusted. But now he's not anymore in this place, so it is out of relevance. Now there are these 4 people. I'm not going to name them, of course. Some Neeraj, some Yogesh, some Pratik, and some... what is his name? Shabana? What was his name, bro? No, it's a guy named... I am saying Shabana. What was his name? Some Muslim name only. I can't remember. Anyway... So I'm having multiple conversations with multiple people. So I'm the one coordinating all of these conversations in the first place. So Pratik was the advisor. So what I told Pratik, I've communicated my issue with Pratik when I visited the service center. He's heard everything. He's noted everything down. So there's that. Then I call up and Pratik doesn't answer the phone. So I call up another number which goes to Neeraj. So now Neeraj hears me out and then I tell him my entire story. He's like, okay, we'll do something about it. Then that conversation goes down the drain. Neeraj is like, I'll redirect you to this guy, Muslim guy. And I'm saying Muslim because I don't remember the name. This other guy, okay? So he handles the warranty department, I guess, apparently. So we'll call him warranty guy. no mention of religion over here, okay? Then he said कि actually he decides what to do. ठीक है. Then I talk to him. I talk to this warranty guy. Then I tell him कि अरे इसका क्या करना है. I had asked for a replacement. तो ये बोला कि हाँ मतलब होगा, देखते हैं, अभी हम लोग चेक करते हैं, चेक करके बताते हैं. Then I was like, फिर आप लोग इतना टाइम से कर क्या रहे थे? Someone told me that the part has been ordered and it will be delivered in a day or 2. तो he's like, मैंने कब बोला आपको पार्ट ऑर्डर आने का? तो मैं बोला कि मुझे क्या पता, मुझे किसी ने तो बोला रहेगा. मतलब किसी ने तो बोला रहेगा, मतलब बोला है 100%. Look at that rupee gone. God damn. तो he's like, नहीं मैंने तो नहीं बोला ना, तो मेरे को क्यों बोल रहे हो कि आप मैंने ऐसे बोला करके. This is the kind of answers that I'm getting. Anyway, then I decide कि चलो ठीक है, एक काम करते हैं, instead of all of this fest, we may as well go to the service center and see the problem myself, show them the problem myself. And with their own eyes they'll see the difference. We'll compare it to another GT650 or an Interceptor. We'll match the clusters and see what we can do. Alright, ठीक है, आ जाते हैं, देखते हैं. तो I reached the service center. I also wanted to change the brake pads as well, which the advisor himself recommended. So I reached there, asked him कि भाई क्या सीन है, क्यों इतना फेस्ट हो रहा है इधर. So the advisor that I first spoke to has no idea about what's happening, okay? Then I tell him कि चल ठीक है, you don't know anything, have you changed the brake pads? Like, नहीं यार, brake pad तो अवेलेबल नहीं है, तो नहीं आया, नहीं मिलेगा वो. तो मैं बोला तो 3 दिन तक चल क्या रहा था बाइक में? Then he's like, नहीं यार अभी अवेलेबल नहीं है तो क्या कर सकते हैं अभी, can't do anything. Then I say, I mean you could have told me, I would have gotten a pair of brake pads. You could have taken your labor charge and done whatever, right? No answer. Alright, ठीक है, चलो ये भी ठीक है. Then I go to this guy called Yogesh, who is the manager. Then I tell him कि ये सब हो रहा है, what's the solution that you have? He's like, no, actually the cluster doesn't have any issues. Then I literally open up the video, I show it to him, the difference. And he's like, no, they seem similar to me. Here's when I realized there's no point in debating with these people. I'm like, ठीक है, एक काम करते हैं, रहने देते, आप मेरे को बाइक पैक करके दे दो, मैं घर लेके चला जाऊँगा. I mean, I also got a message saying that your bill is 0, so there is absolutely no work done so far on your bike. Of course, the lock set and the switch were changed, which were done in warranty. So credit where it's due. But these two issues weren't fixed. The brake pads weren't replaced, and the cluster wasn't changed. So then I was like, "Okay, chalo, I'll move on. I'll just fucking get it done with." Then Yogesh comes and says, "Nee, we've ordered the brake pads, and they're coming. You'll have to wait for another hour or so." And I'm here sitting ki Pratik just told me that the brake pads aren't available anywhere, and you are saying that the brake pads are coming but they'll come 1 hour later. After 3 days of having the bike with yourself, you're saying that the brake pads are coming by 3 o'clock. And I'm like, do you guys even talk to each other? Do you guys communicate in your workplace? So he's like, no, he wouldn't know because I myself took that call apparently. So I was like, okay, cool, let the brake pads be installed. Then I'm sitting there waiting for the brake pads. It takes another 1.5 hours to install the brake pads, by the way. And I am here sitting on a day of Dussehra where there's absolutely no crowd at the service center. Okay, so there's no congestion regards to that. So even if I would have appointed a 2-year-old, I mean, actually I should have done that myself. But even if I appoint a 2-year-old to unlock the screws and then get the brake pads installed and take them out, he would have done hardly in what, half an hour. 1.5 hour passes, and this guy and I myself have to go out and tell him कि भाई क्या हुआ brake pads का. And he's like, नहीं अभी वो आया है कुछ देर पहले, तो अभी हम लोग install करेंगे. Then when I reach inside, I happen to run into this person that I spoke with last year regarding this cluster, who himself had promised me कि हाँ ठीक है, we've ordered the cluster and it will come. And he recognizes me, okay. And as soon as he sees me, he has a smile on his face कि अरे हाँ sir बोलो क्या हाल है. Then I ask him in fact कि what happened to the cluster that you had ordered. So he's like, no, we have that cluster, but we can't install it because we don't have the approval to install it. And I'm like, why? Like, no, Saddam is the name. Yes, Saddam is the name. Yes, Saddam told us कि नहीं, it doesn't need any replacement, so you don't do it. Then I forget about all of this, Saddam and whoever, and I go to that manager, Yogesh, and I tell him कि this is the issue. The part is also available. Then why are you guys not replacing it? Very calmly, and he says कि नहीं, it doesn't need replacement. Then I show him another interceptor lying there in the service center. So I tell him कि चलो we'll compare the cluster of this interceptor to my GT650. Then he turns on the ignition, and it is very, very evident. I'll also show you the photos. It is very evident that the needles are equally illuminated. They match in their color profile. And now I'm like, yeah, chalo, now दूध का दूध पानी का पानी हो गया. Now when am I getting my cluster replaced? And he's like, no, these look the same only. Then I said, of course they look the same. Now if you compare it with my bike, you will find the difference. What? Then I show him this photo. Then he's like, no, these also look the same to me. And now I'm sitting here wondering, what am I doing with my life? Why am I wasting so much of my time debating with these people again and again to find absolutely no solution to my problem? And then I'm like, Acha, you don't see any difference? He's like, no. Arey, this Rubicon is here. Arey, Thar rocks. And now I've lost it. I've completely given up. Ki bhai, this whole discussion is absolutely pointless. So I'm like, never mind. I guess I'm the dumbass. I guess I need to get my eyes checked. I'll rather just get done with it and let's just leave now. There's no point. So I know I've done a horrible job telling you this story, but there's a lot of disappointment, which is why I can't really articulate myself. But yeah, so this has happened multiple times. These kind of denial issues with Royal Enfield. And I'm not talking about Royal Enfield per se as a brand in this, okay? Royal Enfield has nothing to do with this. These are these dealerships that do such shady things. Like, they suddenly deny an issue and completely wash their hands off it. So this has happened multiple times where you point out an issue, and if it's practical enough for them to solve, they will solve it. If it's too out of their reach, then they'll just deny the issue altogether. They'll just say कि नहीं, your problem doesn't exist only. तो तुम क्या फिर solve करोगे? क्या debate करते बैठोगे उनके साथ? This is the thing. And the problem is all of this is subjective now. Despite of me giving visual proof of things not working well, they can just say कि नहीं हमको तो ठीक ही लग रहा है ऐसा कि if I call black this jacket is black and I want to turn it white, they'll be like नहीं ये white ही है, because they know that turning it white will be an issue, turning it white will be a task. This is the kind of strategy, so to speak, that they have. I wish I could show you guys the difference in this like this, but you won't be able to see it like this. So yeah, all in all, this was pretty much the end of that story. I don't feel like going back to that service center because there's no point in me going so far to not get my problems fixed, so it doesn't make sense. What I would rather do is find a good service center nearby that can get my problems fixed. I would also request you guys to tell me, based on your experience with Royal Enfield service, anyone that has had a better experience and has had a trustworthy person to, a trustworthy person that you can trust and with your problems and with your issues, and that can actually get the work done. If you have such point of contacts, you can of course DM me and tell me ki haan chalo, this guy at this service center is quite trustworthy, and you can put your trust on them and get your work done. So I would rather prefer that. So yeah, I'm not the kind of person that gets salty about things, and I'm not the kind of person that badmouths people. But when it's so apparent, when it's so petty, when it's so obvious that things are horrible, then I have to recommend people and I have to take responsibility of it. I've been singing praises about this service center for a long time, and my videos are the proof for it. Every time I've visited the service center, I've only had good things to say. Not anymore. I guess that's the end of the video. Happy Dussehra to all of you, and bye bye.
आज के लिए फिलहाल इतना ही। आपकी तरह मैं भी मायूस हूँ, दिल दुखा है लेकिन टूटा तो नहीं है, और उम्मीद का दामन छूटा तो नहीं है।
Bonus.
I need a new cluster now. What cluster? I don't know. मुझे मेरा cluster चाहिए बस. What cluster? रह गया. Don't be silly. Your cluster is fine. Cluster is fine. एक साल से मेरा टाइम वेस्ट किया, you moron. किसी ने कहा होगा, ऑर्डर किया, बट क्लस्टर में कोई प्रॉब्लम है क्या? प्लीज मुझे बोल कि मैं एक वीडियो बनाऊं. Just tell me to make a video. Just tell me to make a video. Make a video. What's wrong with you, man? There's no issue with your cluster, man. I'm just joking. Well, it's not funny. वो क्लस्टर मेरे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट था, और तू ये अलग अलग रीजंस देके जो जी में आया कर सकता है क्या? It's always like क्लस्टर मंगाया है, थोड़े दिन रुको. एक्चुअली क्लस्टर में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. It's so cool. Grow up. मेरा एक साल वेस्ट करना is not funny. मेरे बाइक को 3 दिन सर्विस सेंटर में रखना was not funny.
So please whatever. Please I want to reach 1 million likes. So please sarapakara